Hello and welcome to Queenie's Cards of the Month for January 2025, where I pull a bunch of cards and from a bunch of different decks, and I tie the stories together to create a story, an energetic kind of outline for the potential of the month. This month is January 2025. Now, normally I do this over on my page on Facebook Live, but I've decided to start recording another version of it for over here on YouTube. So my YouTube subscribers, and if you like this kind of content, you can go ahead and subscribe and maybe make a little comment below for my YouTube subscribers so that you can get the same kind, a similar kind of vibe and information about the cards that I'm getting. And it kind of gives you an experience of the way that I read, the way that I do my work, which, is it's interesting to me to watch the way other people do their work. So I would like to share with you the way I do my work. Aside from doing this and doing the little cards of the week, if you go into my channel, you'll be able to see that I do cards of the week for each week. Very short TikTok video. This is kind of my vibe, I suppose. And I just wanted to share the longer form stuff with my subscribers. And this isn't live, but I have set the intention, or let's set the intention right now. It is my intention for this information to come in clear, informative, and healing, and that our highest guides and angels and ancestors and the powers that be that are here for the highest love and the highest healing and the highest information possible assist me in reading these cards, the energy of these cards for you. Assist me in helping you make the shifts and the bringing out the information that is now available to you for January 2025. So mote it be. I usually don't say that, but that felt like the right thing to say right there. So here we are. It is January 2025. I am recording this on January 2nd. Last night, I did my New Year's Eve Facebook Live with the cards of the month there. I still have these cards out because I feel like it's valid. So let's start. I use the Fairies Oracle card by Brian Froud. This is what the back of the card looks like. Okay. He is the artist that did the artist inspiration for the puppets that his wife Wendy Froud made for the Dark Crystal and Labyrinth and various other things. He does these amazing paintings of the fairy energy, and I'm kind of into that. So, and these cards, I've been using them since 1999, and these are the ones that I use with clients because I seem to feel the information that I get from them is more heart-centered in nature, and they speak to me a lot clearer. And it's not the card that actually speaks to me, but for some reason I can read them easier. So that's my disclaimer. The first card, the card of the influence of the whole month that we've got going on here. Pardon my microphone. I just want to sound pretty for you. The card of the month, the influence of the whole month, we've got Luothis the Wild, and he's upside down. You will find, if you subscribe to my channel and you watch readings of any kind, you will know that I do not read cards reversed as the opposite of what's going on or anything bad. I combine those because, yeah, articulation is my friend. I read the reversed cards as either something that you're resisting, the qualities of the card that you're resisting, or it is something that's happening on a deep level. This one hit me really strongly that this is something that's happening on a deep level. We're impatient. We are waiting for the other shoe to drop. We are waiting to feel like it's right time to take action. It's getting a little angsty all up in here. It's understandable with what's going on in the world around us. You know, we're getting we're getting our, oh my God, we got to do something. What's going to happen? Buttons pushed all the time. And this card is just kind of symbolic of that. And it's really lit up this month, and because it's almost impossible to avoid the shifts and changes and shock and awe of what is going on the planet, what is going on in the world with world. I don't really get too much into politics other than the emotional ramifications, the energetic ramifications of these things, but we're scared, and a lot of people are so many different. There's so much polarity, and that's been going on for quite a while, but it's just really exaggerated. And so it's understandable that we would be a little impatient. We will want to know what to do. And having Luothis the Wild reversed is being in this place where you know that the most important thing for you, the most efficient and the most healing thing for you to do is take inspired action. And Luothis the Wild, when he's right side up, he's like a trailblazer. He just goes for it. He just makes the move, and it's totally necessary. And 9 times out of 10, that move he makes is just the right move. But sometimes he makes the move and he's just bouncing off the walls and burning himself out. And you have to hose him down with a cold hose. Well, it's upside down. We're kind of needing to temper that impatience and trust that that things are going to unfold the way that they need to. But it's hard to do. And sometimes we have to distract ourselves with something. With Luothis the Wild, sometimes we'll have to take that cold shower or go outside, step away from the computer or phone, step away for a little while. Check out what the sky's doing. Check out what the backyard is doing. Check your toes and your fingers. Check out how your pets are. Get your hands in some dirt. Paint something. Draw something. Write something. I'm speaking to you right now. This is my something. This gets my mind off of all the what ifs that are in my head. Is to be able to gift you this. So that's kind of Luothis the Wild. The theme of the whole month is like, not yet, but soon. Wait until you feel in your gut that this is the exact right movement forward. Because once that happens, it's going to go. It's going to go. So to help us with that, I pulled a support card from this deck, which is, why don't we put it like this? This is a Spirit Cats deck by Nicole PR. And I love these cards. Well, one, because I'm a cat lady and they're cats. So you may find a cat theme. If you are a cat lady too, you may find a cat theme in my realm. I can't get away from it. I have 7. I have 5 outside, and I have 2 inside. And the majority of these cats have been with this household for almost 10 years. They are my babies, my children, my feral cat circus. Anyway, so the support card that I got, which kind of gives us advice on what to do to get out of our heads so much about stuff that's going on. And this is just for January, but it's a good tip in general, right? Is generosity. She's pretty, huh? All right, so generosity. Meet Sapphire, the generous spirit in us all. When it is dark outside, he will always come through for us with his dancing rainbow lights and gentle eyes. Allow generosity to flow in all directions. Offer your hand, your ear, your understanding, and your heart to a person in need. Graciously receive the help from another when you are challenged, stuck, or down on your luck. Be generous with yourself. Give yourself time, love, and sweet nurturing care. We take turns being the helper and the one in need of help. Generosity connects us to something larger than ourselves. Okay, so the way to get our mind off of what do I do? What do I do? What are we going to do? What are we all going to do? What's the planet going to do? What's going to happen? The way to get our mind off of that is to give of ourselves to another person. Or let somebody take our mind off things. Take somebody up on that offer. Hey, do you want to go to lunch sometime? Hey, let's go to dinner. Hey, let's go for a walk. Or suggest to somebody, let's go for a little walk. I know the weather is not great in some areas. It's kind of cold here, but it's not as cold as it could be. Sorry, those of you that get snow. We do not do that here in the Bay Area. But to me, it's cold. Let somebody love you. Let somebody give you something. Or you give someone something. Like I said, the way that I ground myself sometimes, or really feel like I'm kind of in my body and everything, is, and I forget about it, is to express myself, to creatively express myself, like what I'm doing right now. Or over the past 3 weekends in December, I was at the Winchester Mystery House with the Menagerie and Oddities Market, and I had a booth where I was doing readings for people. And I did a ton of readings for a ton of people. And it feels so good to connect with all of you in a heart-centered sort of way that gets my mind off of my own crap. And it's not avoiding my own crap. It's actually doing something constructive with my nonstop 24/7 problem-solving brain. Ha ha! It's really fun to be a Gemini with a lot of Virgo in the first house, with a Mars in Virgo. It really is. It's fancy. Anyway, astrology aside, so that generosity cat, that is how we will assist ourselves in finding the patience that we're going to need over the month. Because I really don't feel like shit's going to start actually really moving until towards the middle or the end of the month. And of course, I cannot say that without thinking about, the United States and the inauguration and all of that business. And there's so much projection on what's going to happen and what and fear and sadness and anger around that it's hard not to acknowledge that exists. And it does. But we will not be able to see more of what's actually going to happen until towards the middle or the end of the month. All right. So the next card that I pulled, where are you? Oh, well, so here's what I do. Hold on, I need a little sip. The next cards that I pull are Major Arcana cards from the Blooming Cat Tarot. This is what the back of the cards look like. Anyway, Major Arcana cards from the Blooming Cat Tarot. And I pull them for 3 cards. Can I articulate today? No, you're just going to have to live with it. So far, 13 minutes of me stumbling over my words or not. The beginning of the month is from January 1st to January 12th. The middle of the month card is for January 13th to January 21st. And the end of the month card is from January 22nd until the 30th. Okay, so I pull 3 Major Arcana cards to encompass those different time periods to kind of give us a little tips and tricks on what sort of energy is around that time period and maybe what to do or how to respond. Because honestly, everything in life is about how we respond to it. Situations will come up and we're going to either respond from love or we're going to respond from fear. Yeah, sometimes we respond from a little bit of both, but these cards kind of give us an idea. And the reason that I use the major arcana cards is because those are about like big shifts and moves and soul evolution. Okay, the minor arcana cards are really great. They are more about the people that are in our lives and the day-to-day stuff that's in our lives. And so I like to use the major arcana cards for this because this kind of gives us an overview of the big stuff that's going on for us. And what I mean by for us, I mean anybody who happens upon this video, anytime they happen upon this video. Whether you happen upon this video in January 2025, or you're looking at a retrospective, or out in the future, whenever somebody finds this video, I trust that the timing will bring it to you at exactly the time that you need it, regardless of whether it's 2025 or 2030. Okay? So let's get that very clear. So the beginning of the month, we have the Magician card. I think the Magician card was right side up. We have the Magician card. You like the little cat magician? It's very cute. All right, that is card number 1 in the Major Arcana card. The Major Arcana goes from card 0 to card 21? 21 or 22. Wow, what kind of tarot reader for almost 40 years am I? It's okay, I'll remember later. I haven't pulled the World card at this time. But the Magician is like the person who plants the seed. The Magician has, so at the beginning of the month, we will be feeling like we have all the tools. There is a need to acknowledge that we have all the tools available, that there is nothing that's lacking, that we need energetically to plant the seed so that we can move forward. Okay? The Magician card in other decks has a guy, and his hand has a wand up to the sky. He has an infinity symbol over his head, just like that kitty does. And he has a table, an altar in front of him that has all the suits. All the symbols of all the suits. Has pentacles, has wands, has swords, has cups on this table in front of him. And he is drawing energy down his arm and out the other arm. This symbolizes us planting a seed. And this seed doesn't immediately germinate and bear fruit. It does not. It's just the beginning. So basically, I guess the beginning of January is just the beginning. And it's imperative to understand that we have all the tools that we need in order to accomplish what we want to accomplish. That it's like saying, you're soaking in it. People wonder like where the information comes from, or where, how to get this stuff done. And nobody thinks that they're enough. The Magician knows that he's enough. He knows that he has all the tools that he needs in order to create what he wants to create, the magic that he wants to create. He has all the tools. And so at the beginning of the month, we're kind of gathering them, and we're also acknowledging that they're already there and that we are enough. And that's interesting because I don't think I said that during the Facebook Live. When I do these things, I kind of channel the information, and sometimes I remember what I said and sometimes I don't. But that doesn't mean that there's anybody else in here channeling, and there's no shade to people who do that, who allow themselves to be entered and spoken through. That is rare, and it comes with permission. I have really good boundaries. Anyway, but the Magician card is about that. Trust the magic. Trust that you are planting the seed. Because he's like, it's the way that I see the spiral that the major arcana makes, it's a manifestation spiral or a life evolution spiral, is that the magician plants the seed, the high priestess brews it and gathers all the information available, and then the empress gives birth to it out into the world. So here we are with the magician, and the seed is being planted, and we have everything that we need. There is nothing lacking. We have everything that we need to plant this seed. Okay? What I find interesting is the middle of the month, from January 13th until the 21st, is that we kind of go backwards a little bit. But the reason we go backwards a little bit kind of ties into the influence of the whole reading, is we're like, what's going to happen? What if? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Well, the Fool comes in the middle of the month, after you've planted that seed, after you've figured out, okay, I'm enough, I have everything I need. The Fool says, good, we have everything we need. Now we need to take a leap of faith, and we need to trust the process. The Fool in other tarot decks is a young person with a stick and a little knapsack on there, a little I don't know, I don't want to say hobo, but a little, what I consider like a little hobo stick, and they have a little dog with them, and they are about to take a step off a cliff. But you know what's great about the Fool? The Fool is the beginning. It is the pre-beginning, because the magician is the beginning. The Fool is the pre-beginning. The Fool is the fresh start, the trusting that, the leap of faith that is needed to trust that your life will happen. And so this, for people that have hung on to all kinds of things that help them feel secure, this middle of the month might be a little scary, but it comes up when you can trust the process, when you can trust the old unfolding of your life, when you can take that leap of faith. You're being called to it. It's almost like there's no turning back. Okay? So the middle of the month, we're really going to have to take a leap of faith and trust that we're on the right path. And trust the path ahead of us. Because with the Fool goes from village to village and just gets taken care of. Just trust that they'll be taken care of. You know, hey, I don't relate to that either, because I'm constantly like wanting to know where the bathrooms are and, you know, all of that. But the Fool just trusts, and it just works out for them. So we need to trust that everything is working out for us. That everything is always working out for us. And that's kind of a mantra or affirmation that I have, that didn't work until I actually felt it. You know what I mean? Because that's a thing with affirmations or mantras. Like, unless you can repeat it over and over and over and over again, but until you feel it, until you really feel it in yourself, it's not going to make as much of a difference. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until you feel it, until it sticks, you know? But understand that sometimes it doesn't work for a while until you can actually get that feeling. So, and you build on it. You get these feelings of little moments of, oh, everything is always working out for me. And you can get that to last for like 30 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. And just keep building on that. That's my little tip for you for the middle of the month and for any time. It has been really helpful to me. That has been more helpful to my go-to, which doesn't seem to completely work and can be a little chastising or condescending to your own self, which is everything's going to be okay. It's always okay. It's going to be okay. What does that mean? What does okay mean? I like everything is always working out for me. That's better than okay. We deserve better than okay, right? Because sometimes okay feels like poop. Honestly. Okay, so that's the middle of the month. A leap of faith and needing to trust the process. The end of the month, which is from the 22nd to the 30th, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, in other decks, you have that spinning wheel in the middle, and then you have all the different suits all around. And I find it funny that we have the magician that has all the different suits on the table kind of manifested and able to kind of manipulate and harness the energy of. But the Wheel of Fortune is like, blam! And so what the Wheel of Fortune is about needing to stay grounded and stay centered in the midst of a whole bunch of stuff happening on the edges, whether it's stuff with other people or whether it's stuff happening in the world. Our job at the end of this month is to stay centered and grounded. And what will assist us with that is probably the generosity card. That's one of the things that will assist us with it. Because how do you stay centered? How do you ground yourself? Some people meditate. Some people like to plant things. So again, we're talking about putting your hands in the dirt, putting your feet on the soil, taking a walk, hugging a few trees, or at least having some conversations with them if you do that. I talk to everything. But because, everything's alive to me. Really, everything's alive. So how do you center yourself? How do you ground yourself? There is no right or wrong way to do it. I think that's what gets in the way. That's what gets in the way of me meditating. That's what gets in the way of a lot of people doing work like this, doing yoga. There are stretches that you can do that are really simple, and it doesn't matter what kind of shape that you're in. Or if you're not in the kind of shape to where you can do certain kind of stretches that you feel like you should do them in your mind. Imagine what it would feel like to do them in your mind. I forgot about this. I just remembered just now. So any way that you can stay grounded and centered in the middle, like be the fulcrum. Be the fulcrum, be the center of things. Because I really feel like the beginning of the month, that by the end of the month, things are not going to look the same. And not in a bad way, but just in a different way. And so we need to stay grounded and centered in it all. Now, the Wheel of Fortune card in the Major Arcana to me is kind of the halfway point of the evolutionary journey. Because like I said, we've got, the Fool is the beginning. Everything is clear. Everything is innocent and naive. You have no idea. You've begun a whole new level of learning. Boom, you're there, you hop in, you just trust your feet are going to land on the ground. There you are. The magician gathers up the energy, understands that they can, and plants the seed. The high priestess brews it and is pregnant with ideas and pregnant with knowledge and wisdom. And the empress goes, look, here's my creation. And the emperor goes, let me create a structure to give stability to that creation. And then the Hierophant comes in and tries to shake things up a little bit, even though the Hierophant in some belief systems is like dogma. And so it is the push and pull between wanting to follow the rules and needing to break free of the rules and have an adjustment, because five is about adjustment and adventure and learning. So anyway, so it goes up, and then you get to the Wheel of Fortune, and this is the middle of the evolution. This is the beginning of where you get to see how much can go on and how grounded you need to be in order to make the right choices to move from card number 10 to card number 11, which is create justice, which is creating the balance. Okay? Anyway, that's my tarot lesson for the middle of this, because I can't resist. Because I get excited about this stuff. I get excited about the stories that you can tell with these cards. and the energy around them. So we are going to go on to the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. This is a really freaking beautiful deck. And these are, I tried to pull one card, but two came out. And this is our responsibilities this month. As if needing to make sure that we're grounded and centered, and that we are making sure that we are allowing ourselves to be given to and also giving to others. If that wasn't enough, these are our responsibilities. So Dragonfly Spirit is truth transcends illusion. And then we got Lion Spirit is be generous of spirit. And I love that we got Lion Spirit and we have the Cat Spirit card, which is generosity as well. Because, and the way that I arrange them, they are kind of across from each other, but catty corner. They're kind of, I know there's a word for it, diagonal, whatever. They're across from each other in this way. So they're creating kind of a connection here. So our responsibilities right now are to get to the truth, acknowledge the truth, allow it to be true, and give and share. So let's read these. How about that? Dragonfly Spirit is card number 22 in this deck. And it says, truth transcends illusion. Dragonfly Spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Like we're literally soaking in it. I know that some of you out there that are watching this don't think that you have access to your intuition and to understand these things, but you're literally soaking in it. God, I look all crooked. Yeah, I'm vain too. But you're literally soaking in it. You just are. You are made of this energy. And I'm just reading what you're made of. That's all. Okay, so Dragonfly Spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. Just as Dragonfly catches your eyes with its reflective wings and body, Dragonfly Spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere, peeking through from behind the veil. In the realm of spirit, there is far more wisdom than you can perceive with all your senses, and there is a deep knowing that you are not separate or alone, for a higher power recognizes you and loves you beyond measure. Fears dissipate as you realize that you are embraced by the nurturing force that is everywhere, always in communication with you. Like I said, you're literally soaking in it. Alighting when you are preoccupied, Dragonfly Spirit offers this message. You exist in unity with all, including the protective spirits who share their wisdom, and you are being nudged along the path your soul needs to travel to have the experiences it craves. Love exists in many forms, and sometimes we overlook it when we don't recognize a particular form. Pay attention to the signs now. They remind you that each of us has inspired dreams seamlessly sewn into the fabric of the invisible world, and there is a great consciousness that exists in seemingly empty spaces, guiding us on our journey. Open to the truth, letting the wisdom of the hidden realms inform you, providing insights your conscious mind overlooks. How does that feel? That feels good. What is really interesting is before I go over to the Lion card, I pulled another Fairies Oracle card to kind of, yes, fireworks. You might hear it through the microphone, you might not. But anyway, I pulled another card, a Fairies Oracle card, to kind of support us in this time of like impatience and wondering what if. And I pulled, and it's this, you'll see how it ties in to the Dragonfly Spirit. I pulled Epona's Wild Daughters, and she was upside down. And what she is about how we have access to this subtle messaging, our intuition and information, and we're literally soaking in it. But a lot of times we don't pay attention because it doesn't seem to come in the form that we want it to come in or that we expect it to come in. Some people really think that they need to be hit with a Mack truck to get something or to learn something. And other people think they need to be yelled at or spoken to. And Epona's Wild Daughters comes in and says, yeah, but there's so many more ways that you can figure out things. There are so many ways that spirit communicates with you. You could, pardon me, you could be in the line at a grocery store and overhear somebody else's conversation, and it causes a light bulb to go off over your head, and you get an answer that way. Something's happening with my throat here. I don't like it. Sometimes when that happens is because you're trying to stop yourself from saying something important. But I'm just gonna realize that my throat has been a little scratchy off and on for the last couple of days because I'm a little worn out. But okay, so Epona's Wild Daughters is about, like, we're asking questions, but we might not be asking the right questions. Like, if we're asking the right questions, we might get the answers that we are looking for. So she's like the Sphinx in a way, where, you're not asking the right question. How do you expect to get the answer that you need if you're not asking the right question? Well, just tell me, will ya? This is not what this month is about. This is about getting quiet and really getting access to what you need and what will propel you forward, and that will help you take inspired action, which is what is needed for next month, I think. Okay, so I like how the dragon spirit connected with Epona's Wild Daughters, and I did not notice that until the second time that I've done the second video that I've done. So I like that. So you guys at YouTube get the special version of the video. Well, they got the many voices because I was interacting live with people and answering questions while they were on. And sometime I'll do that for this. The next card is our responsibilities for this month that will assist us is the the Lion. Be generous of spirit. And that is number 37. Lion spirit. Be generous of spirit. A healthy ego means you ease God's order instead of edging God out. You ease God's order instead of edging God out, which means you do what's the highest instead of, and you don't completely just take credit for everything. You understand the universe has a hand in it. Okay, I think that's it. That's a really strange phrase. Anyway, lion spirit's appearance is a reminder that you have been given the gift of pride and a healthy sense of your worth to express your divine, authentic self in a unique way. You are both the king and the queen, secure in your prosperity and wisdom and generous of spirit as you help others. Take pride in your ability to serve from the heart. Contentment with what you have right now allows you to use your resources wisely as you give to others in ways to educate, heal, inspire, and delight. This is like the card that I hope for. This is, on a personal note. This is what I want. This is what I intend. Be proud yet humble, practice gratitude, and you will find that the accolades that come to you are no match for the joy of knowing what you have been able to do for others through expressing the bounty of generosity within you. Lion Spirit knows there is a great savanna before you, and many who will benefit from the healthy expression of your unique set of gifts if you choose to work in partnership with Spirit. All your relationships flourish, because you're a lion. You're flourish. All your relationships flourish as you express your worth and generosity of spirit with humility and kindness. What a blessing you can be to all. Hope so. What a blessing you can be to all. So January, the only thing really tricky that I can see about January is that we're not getting, there is going to be a lot of what ifs in the air. It's going to feel like there are a lot of balls up in the air and we're not sure which ones we're supposed to catch first so that we can juggle them correctly. Then it's we're not going to get really clear answers this month, but we need to trust that they're coming. Trust that we'll get them eventually, and trust that that everything is working out for us. So I pulled another card because last night when I was talking about the Wheel of Fortune, I felt like that's just a lot of business, and how are we going to ground ourselves? And I asked for kind of a support card for that, and I pulled from this. I think this is from Liz Houston's deck. Let me see if I've got the little. Have I got the? Let's see. What is it? Oh no, that's the New Wave Tarot booklet that I've got. That isn't the but it's Elizabeth Houston deck, and I pulled the Hangman. And the bottom line is that we need to see things from a new perspective, and that's part of the shift and the process that's going on in the month of January, is that because that's the Hangman. The Hangman is like, there's no problem. They're not hung by the neck or anything. They're hung by the foot, and they're kind of being forced to look at things from a different vantage point. We're being forced to look at things from a totally different perspective. And that is part of the Fool in the middle of the month, where you're, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I got to do it. And that'll help us clear Luathis the Wild, the one who's impatient. There's going to be movement in the middle of the month. It's just that you're not going to get clear answers about the outcome. There is no guaranteed outcome. You just need to trust that everything is working out for you. And yes, that sounds really trite, and that sounds like toxic positivity, doesn't it? But believe me, I understand. But you look back on life and the fact that if you're watching this, you're still here. If you're still here, there is hope. If we're still here, there is hope. There is beauty to be experienced. There is love to be had and experienced. There is love to be given. There is love to be received. There is abundance to be given. There is abundance to be received. We're all here. So if you know that if you're here, then there is hope. That kind of came out. Anyway, so that wraps up January 2025. Now I pulled 3 cards that will represent the overview of 2025. And I was like, come on, give us a break. No, I wasn't. No, I was. So, but in retrospect, they look good. So the first card, which one of the themes is patience, which is the singer of the chalice. And the reason that I say that this is patience is because the chalice represents the womb, the divine feminine, and it always represents a gestation period. And what I feel is that we are really going to have to allow the seed that's been planted to brew and to gestate probably until the middle of the year, like June, July kind of thing, where things start moving in a more positive direction. That's what it feels like to me. And so there'll be, we need to be patient, and we need to be patients, not patients. We need to have patience and trust the process. Again, we're trusting the process. This is, so this year is going to be about, okay, I'm doing everything that I can, and I am raising my own vibration, and I am practicing self-care, and I am caring for, and I'm creating community. I am pulling my community around me, and we are giving to each other, and we are connecting with each other, so we know that we're more okay together than we are apart. Because we really started being apart. That brings me to the next card, the next influence, which is Liz of the Shadows. Liz of the Shadows is about, she is the rescuer. She is the energy that when you're having dark night of the soul, or when someone you love is having dark night of the soul, she comes along with her flashlight to point in a direction to where you can find the rope to get out of the well, or a ladder, or you see a light at the end of the tunnel. She holds that flashlight. And sometimes we are that for other people, and sometimes they are that for us. And this, I'm going to just continue piping in about, I can say creating community. For some of you, it's creating community. I know for me, it is probably allowing community after a time of isolating. A lot of us got messed up in 2020 and 2021. A lot of us retreated and discovered our introversion in all that time, and discovered how socially anxious we all were, because it just amplified it to 11. And now is a time period, this year is a time period to reconnect with our community. And even if it's just in small doses, get with your friends, get with your family. If you feel nurtured by the people that are in your life, spend time with them. If some of the people in your life don't feel nurturing to be around, don't feel the support, don't feel like community, regardless of whether it's your actual family or just friends or, acquaintances or anything, there is no harm in not being around them. Be with the people that assist you in feeling good, that you feel good helping them feel good. This is what we need right now. We need that personal touch, because we're all scared. Most of us. And most of us are angry. And most of us are sad. And we need our friends. And we need our connections, our heart connections. And we've probably been putting it off because we didn't want to be too much. Didn't want to be a burden to people, or didn't feel like we had anything great to say, which is part of what happens when I retreat. But Liz of the Shadows comes along and indicates that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and somebody's holding that flashlight for you, and you can hold that flashlight for them. I have an astrologer friend that that I think she says something about meeting ourselves and meeting others, or connecting with ourselves and connecting with others, and that it's time for it's time to be together with people that love you and nurture you and assist you in feeling like a better version of yourself. And it's no longer time for us to be retreating and licking our wounds. We can do that sometimes, but right now this year, it's important for us to reach out and connect with other people that can help us heal, and we can help them heal in turn. Let ourselves be loved by people exactly as we are, and stop feeling like we're not enough. Yeah, I'm talking to myself too. Anyway, the other card that comes up that a lot of times people are afraid of, but the other card that comes up with 2025, which kind of anchors in the idea that we are going to have to slip into a whole new way of being. There are going to be things that don't work anymore, ways of being that aren't going to work anymore. We have the Death card. I know that people get scared of the Death card in the tarot, or the Death card in this deck or any other deck. Death is transition. It is kind of clearing out the old so that you can begin again, like the Fool. You know, it just feels like there are certain ways that we have been or have approached the world or have approached life, our relationships, our money, whatever, our relationships to energy of all kinds that do not work anymore. And some of those ways that we approach those things is ways of feeling separate. Finding quote unquote the illusion of safety in separation from people and from other support. And this Death card that comes up is that I really think that by the end of the year things will look entirely different. Not bad, just different. And that's why we need community the most right now and moving forward. This doesn't mean that you're only around certain people that believe certain things that are exactly the same as you. It's people that can clearly communicate about these things. People that feel good to be around. And that you feel good to them to be around. We need to love each other and understand that each person is an integral puzzle piece for this big puzzle we call life. And like I said, we're kind of soaking in that energy. Anyway, that was me on my soapbox. That's talking about 2025. And also the end of me talking about January 2025. Who knows what will come up next month? But I'm excited about it, and I'll be making a video about it, just like I did this one. Now, I am available for private sessions of energy readings, healings, clearings, and card readings. And I am at www.queenieintuitive.com. You will see a link in the show notes. And I really, really wish you an amazing, incredible 2025. And I wish you nurturing, juicy, wonderful, loving, uplifting, healing relationships and situations for this year and for this month. I love you guys, and I will see you for the card of the week on Sunday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.